So today I'm going to be joined by Imad Khurram. He is the Senior Digital Forensics and Incident Response Consultant at CISCO in Saudi Arabia, and we're going to be discussing how to show value through PurpleTeaming to the board.
My name is Imad Khurram, and I am working as a Senior Digital Forensics and Incident Response Consultant for CISCO KSA. Currently, I'm mainly focused on this second largest ISP here in KSA, and I'm mainly responsible for their incident response and digital forensics activities. In addition to that, for past 3 years since I started my GDAT, in short, completed my GDAT certification from SANS, I also started a bit of PurpleTeaming, and now we are doing almost 2 to 3 small PurpleTeaming exercises per week, plus sometimes we plan in advance and do the complete simulation also.
Are you finding that PurpleTeaming works better for you as a way of working, or have you set up a team?
Obviously, PurpleTeaming is basically the new way of working for cybersecurity experts. You just have to, it's both ways. Obviously, red teamers have a good understanding how to get into the environment. Similarly, blue team is usually only focused on defending the organization. If you'll combine both of these skills, it's an amazing combination. And I've seen this in practice because I was a blue teamer for 6 to 7 years, and then I wore the hat of basically PurpleTeaming, basically a little bit of red teaming side. Recently, I took a course of SANS Sec 564, which is adversary emulation. You basically emulate the complete adversary, their TTPs, how they get into the environment, they pivot through the environment, everything. So it was an amazing course and eye-opener for me. And since the completion of that course, we are actively doing this PurpleTeaming exercises. And it should be both ways. Your red teamers, either you can make a combination of a representative from red team, one representative from blue team, and somebody with the PurpleTeaming expertise can basically lead the activity. Or it can be like this, that your blue team itself, they can come up with a red teaming exercise. It can be a short one based on some vulnerabilities that are around in the coming around, such as recently there are a lot of critical vulnerabilities in many known vendors. So for each and every vulnerability that comes out, you can obviously run a running exploit till the workaround comes, and you can see if you are vulnerable or not. And while you have you have expertise of you perform the complete red team exercise, as a part of recommendations, you can come up with your own signatures to prevent these attacks from to reaching your environment.
Yeah, there's so many benefits of PurpleTeaming. So let's talk about the training benefits of PurpleTeaming. So it's quite clear, you've got a lot of experience in the defense side. You've gone and done training specifically in adversary emulation, and you've taken that back to CISCO. And you guys have implemented PurpleTeaming off the back of the experience that they've got in-house, which is awesome. So have you guys seen any training benefits then from, say, your team working with pen testers and pen testers working with your team? Has it upskilled your internal employees?
Yes, obviously one of my team members that joined our team almost around a year ago, he was coming from a red teaming background, and the way he fit, I saw him fit into the blue teaming side. It was amazing. It was spectacular, honestly, because even if I talk about myself, once I started this SANS GDAT training and then adversary emulation, when I saw the attacks completely replicating inside the environment, it was an eye-opener. You just keep on defending, and you are basically have a lot of experience in writing from SNOR signatures, Yara rules, all the defensive side. But the change that came into place after this training was now you actually understand what the adversary is doing. Once you have seen, and let's suppose let me take a simple example of if you see SQL injection attack happening, you see any kind of lateral movement, any kind of malicious PowerShell communication happening between C2 servers and your systems. If you just see this activity, perform this to defend it extremely well. You can write your custom signatures, and there are a lot of benefits involved with it. It's an eye-opener if you go for a training related to red teaming. Basically, I would recommend that every blue teamer should also wear a red teamer's hat for some time. It be an eye-opening experience for him.
Yeah, I do think that some of the best security engineers have had a background, whether it's as a sysadmin or general IT, or on the opposition of what they're working in now, just to have an understanding of how security is implemented in the business. I think that definitely helps red teamers as well to understand that. Cool, awesome. So how can a defense engineer make the most out of PurpleTeaming? So, not every environment believes in PurpleTeaming, not every company believes in PurpleTeaming, not every environment is working to that way of working. So if there's a defense engineer, an analyst of some sort listening now, how can they go away and start getting some experience in this area?
Okay, it's a nice question. Basically, why we are currently treating red teaming as separate, because usually in most of the companies, red teaming is part of governance, risk, or compliance, or some other team, not the actual security operations centers where the blue team is sitting or incident responders are there. So for any any member of the blue team, it's very important for him to understand the red teaming side. And how he can do that, it's very simple. If you don't have the expertise in-house, you obviously have to come up with the practical examples that are out there, the benefit that companies have observed from the PurpleTeaming exercise, and he can show it to his management that this is the benefits if we go for a PurpleTeaming exercise. And this way, we can understand the actual attacks that are happening. And it's not really necessary that the incident responder or the blue team side, they have to come up with this with a way to perform the red teaming themselves. They can even engage a red teamer from their company, or if they have there in their team, or even if they are engaging some third party, they can sit with them on one table and they can perform the attack scenario. They can also include any subject matter expert. Let's suppose if you have Exchange admin, Windows admin team, you have web administrator team, they can all sit together. If you are focusing on the web, the subject matter expert can give you a lot of wonderful ideas because he knows the system inside out. And if he's cooperating with the red team, and red teamer can come up with initial scoping, then the scenario, what scenario they are going to try, or if they are emulating an adversary, they can come up with the TTPs of those adversary group, and they can map it on the MITRE attack framework or some framework, or cyber kill chain. There are a lot of different frameworks out there, and they can perform the complete exercise one by one and see. The blue teamer can sit on the table and see through his security solutions that, okay, you came in, I was able to detect you during the initial delivery phase. If he's not able to detect them during the delivery phase, he can detect them during the exploitation phase, or even the post-exploitation phase. So that can be very useful if basically there's a combination of subject matter experts. It's not necessary for a blue teamer to come up with the red teaming expertise. He can utilize the already available resources within his company, whether it can be red team. If they conduct an annual red team exercise, someone basically as a part of the contract, they can put an adversary emulation, or if they know that some of their systems is particularly vulnerable, they can engage in a group of subject matter expert, red teamer, and a blue teamer. They can sit together. They can map to different attack frameworks, which includes MITRE. You can have this. You can utilize cyber kill chain. It's amazing to detect on which phase your blue team is detecting, on which phase the red teamer is performing the attack scenario. And your subject matter expert can obviously sit there and assist both the red team and blue team, and ultimately come up with a nice set of recommendations with their deadlines that can be implemented to safeguard the environment.
I know you've got a history in digital forensics. Have you found a way to incorporate forensics into this as well, like to test your internal forensic capability? So I just find that would be really quite interesting, because it's not always the case that there's a juicy case to work on in a corporate environment when you have an internal forensics capability. So have you managed to test your forensics internally with PurpleTeaming off the back of it?
Yes, for sure. We are doing these such activities. Basically, what we do is if there is a red teamer, he's performing some kind of activity. The blue side doesn't know about it. They detect and inform in each and every phase. Whenever you see that an adversary, the red teamer is attacking, first, if let's suppose he has, let me give you an example. He has created an account on one of your critical assets, and you detect it right away. So it will be considered as an incident, and till the root cause, or till you come to know that this is the activity that is being performed by the red teamer. And then you go and implement a security control on the previous phases in which you have not detected an activity. So we are obviously taking a lot of benefit from such activities. And especially I will focus on one thing, like if you already there is basically no incident, or there is something not critical going on, you can obviously on a daily basis, in the past 2-3 weeks, there are 3 critical vulnerabilities that are out there. So I will focus on the importance of even the short purple teaming exercises for DFIR teams. There are a lot of scripts out there. Even if you just Google, you will go with the CVE code on the Twitter, you will obviously find a lot of POCs that are being done by security experts around the globe. So you can always go back, replicate the complete scenario in your environment to verify if you are vulnerable as a part of a small red teaming activity. And similarly, if your security controls are still not detecting, you can come up with the signatures, you can contact your vendors, and you can inform them about a bug or vulnerability that it's not getting detected. So there are a lot of uses of purple teaming.
We understand in this industry that with senior leaders, they don't always understand the benefits of different security practices. So especially when it comes to changing a whole way of working, unless there's evidence involved. And I mean, that's really obvious. So how can somebody in your position who's got to implement this in a large company but get senior management buy-in, how can they do that? How did you do it?
For us, it was quite simple, because the client that I am currently assigned to, the management is quite cooperative, especially in terms of cybersecurity. If you come up with a new idea, they accept it with open arms. So for us, it was quite simple. But one way that I can recommend is just perform a simple passive activity, a small, simple passive activity related to Purple Team. And even if you cannot do it, just convince the management to come on the table and give us one chance to let us all sit together and do a simulation of an attack with certain stakeholders from each team on a table. And once they will sit there and you will replicate a simulation or replicate a scenario that this has happened now, or this is how we want to get in, and these ports are open. Obviously, if you are working in a blue team, you will have some knowledge about the weak areas based on the past incidents you have handled. So you can highlight some of those things during the meeting, which are not fixed yet or patched yet. And you can show them the value that after performing this activity, okay, you can enlist the loopholes that you will find during that scenario. Or if, let's suppose, you are completely patched, the time of response, or the time cycle of the complete incident response activity, if it is more than normal, or if it can be improved, you will come up with a set of recommendations, 5 to 10. Okay, these things can be improved. This way, they will see the value of a small simulation. And ultimately, if after simulation, you can keep on going towards the adversary emulation, or it's adversary emulation is a big thing. If you will take one step back, you can come up with a small attack simulation, those kinds of things. This all will highlight the importance of PurpleTeaming to the management.
Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Just try to just get something small, passive, that's not going to knock anything over or have any significant impact. Just prove the benefits of it. Great, awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't have anything else to ask you. That's like nearly 20 minutes, and we went through it really fast. So thank you so much for your time. Is there anything that you want to add, any advice you want to add to people wanting to do PurpleTeaming, or just any interesting story about it that you would like to share?
Yes, absolutely. One small thing that I would like for everyone to benefit from is related to my experience of PurpleTeaming. I've been working on the blue teaming side for 7 to 8 years, but my eyes opened recently since past 1 to 2 years after GTAT, because I saw the actual attacks happening. I saw how over the network the traffic was being transmitted from one system to another system. I saw the Mimikatz shell flowing over the network. I saw a NetBIOS, LLM, and R-based attacks over the network. So when you see all these things in the form of PCAPs, and even if you try to write a single signature for it, if you, on the endpoint, you come up with the way that it's very easy nowadays to change the code of Mimikatz and other tools. There are a lot of interpreters available. So you can come up with the Yara rules or signatures towards the defense side. Once you will see the complete attack happening, it will open your eyes, and you will broaden your horizon in terms of cybersecurity as a whole. So that's all from my side.
No, I think that's good advice. You can't actively and proficiently defend something that you can't see and you can't understand. And likewise, it's going to be really hard to be, worth anything as a pen tester if you don't understand the foundations of what you're attacking, and you don't get the understanding of how it's going to be protected. So yeah, absolutely. I think great advice. And I think that's really the point of PurpleTeaming, isn't it? To have that visibility and to have that shared experience. So yeah, I really hope that more companies do what you've managed to do at CISCO. I think it's great. Okay, well, thank you. I'll send you it when it's finished, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, it's really nice talking to you, Eliza, and especially your work related to Pocket SIEM. I have seen some of your posters. It's an interesting idea.
Oh, thank you.
Best of luck with your company.
Lovely. Thanks so much. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. That was the PurpleTeam podcast. I was joined this time by Imad Khurram, the Senior Digital Forensics and Incident Response Consultant at CISCO in Saudi Arabia.